special power. Everyone has something they're passionate about. Everyone is a subject matter expert. Here at Nerdmasters, we help you share your expertise. In our digital world, we Toastmasters must master basic communication technologies in conjunction with speaking and leadership skills. We formed the Nerdmasters Advanced Club to expand our understanding of technology so we can better serve our clubs and our communities. We are nerdy Toastmasters, enthusiastically exploring the intersection of technology, leadership, communication, and nerdly pop culture. Welcome to the Nerdcasters podcast.
Game begin.
Fellow Toastmasters, welcome to Nerdcasters and our podcast with District 32. I am Carolyn Curley, Distinguished Toastmaster and past District 32 Director. Tonight I have with me Distinguished Toastmaster Brian Besnick, who is our Division E Director. Brian, welcome for tonight's episode. I'm really glad you were able to join us.
Thank you very much.
As we talk about leadership and speaking, why did you initially join Toastmasters?
Well, initially, I joined Toastmasters because at work, I thought I needed to improve my public speaking. I'd been trying to figure it out for years. I was always talking to my boss about wanting to improve my public speaking, and he said, join Toastmasters. And that went on for 7 years in my performance evaluations until finally I got around to listening to him.
Sometimes listening to others takes that effort. And you're not the only one that took time to join Toastmasters. Since you have joined, what have you learned from your experience?
The one thing that I learned, it wasn't that I needed practice public speaking to make myself a better speaker. What I learned is that I needed the leadership skills in order to organize and prioritize what I wanted to tell people and figuring out how to tell people what I wanted to get across. It wasn't that I needed the public speaking. I needed the self-confidence that Toastmasters has given me in order to make me a better speaker.
Wow, hearing that it's not just speaking, but other skills with leadership, confidence, those are really great aspects. And participating in Toastmasters, you have definitely come a long way from being told that you need to join Toastmasters. As a member of Toastmasters, what do you think your greatest achievement has been so far?
I know there's all kinds of things that you can say. A lot of people might say achieving a DTM or the Distinguished Toastmaster label for myself. I think the biggest thing that I've ever achieved, though, is to help someone step in, learn how to figuring out what they want to do with Toastmasters and see them work their way through their first set of manuals or compete in their first speech and just become self-confident in themselves, because they can go from the person who is gripping a lectern behind the thing there and can't hardly speak to tell them who they are in their ice-breaking speech to being able to get up there and do presentations without a problem, smoothly, with class, with panache. Just the confidence to see someone else get up there and overcome their problems. It makes me feel like I've actually done something.
Toastmasters is a great place to support the growth, not only in ourselves, but in others. We have a number of people that have mentioned, I didn't think I could, but they told me I could, so I tried. As a division director, what is your vision for your role this year?
I envision myself as sort of a middleman. In the leadership organization, we get directives from Toastmasters International program itself, and then it's my job to funnel it down from them through the district down towards the clubs to make use of this knowledge or these requests of everything. But I'm also there to answer questions when they come back from the clubs and the members back up through the leadership. Well, what did they mean here? How do I do this? It is my job to sort of oversee or answer some of these questions. Or if I can't find or don't know what the answer is, I probably know who knows the answer, and I can reach out to them and get this information. My job is to sort of steer them along, point them in the right direction to either solving their problems or figuring out how they can actually achieve what they want to do and improve their club and themselves.
I hear that from you, supporting others, encouraging them, and being able to let them grow too. Those are qualities of a wonderful leader. As you look at your members in your clubs, your leaders, what training ideas would you like to have available for our members in District 32?
That is a very interesting idea. I need to probably figure out what they want to do, what they want to achieve. A lot of people understand that they want to be able to become better leaders. They want to become speakers. They want to be able to teach the skills that they want to share. Being a member is not sometimes just about learning how to be a better speaker. But some people, when they get into Toastmasters, realize, again, it isn't the speaking, it's how to run a meeting. It's how to write in the put presentations, but not in front of just Toastmasters or their club members, but how to improve in their business roles that they have. Are they going to be able to go out and do sales presentations? Are they going to be sent off to woo clients? Toastmasters teaches all these skills to figure out how to maybe come up with some sort of shows or presentations or programs to go from someone who isn't sure what they're doing into working and developing. Well, this is how you can reach out to clients in multiple ways. This is how you can build the repertoire with and relationships with the people that you're trying to reach out and share this information to. Because once you've built the relationships, it's easy to start passing the information back and forth and understand what people really want, not what they're saying. A lot of times what they're saying isn't necessarily what they want. They want something else. But once you have this relationship, it's easier to understand that they said this, but they meant that.
Listening to understand their needs. Right there, you've hit it on the head. Those are all great skills that we can provide here in Toastmasters. You mentioned taking it to the next step with speaking from the club, even to a business. If we can help you with ideas, training, support, you're not alone. In Toastmasters, we work together as a team. As a team, though, sometimes it still comes down to the individual. How do you balance your commitments to Toastmasters, your division, your clubs, along with your professional and personal life?
I've had a couple people ask me this exact same question, and my initial response is I don't. I tend to try and prioritize what's coming next and what needs to be done. And then I concentrate everything in that direction to try and either get myself caught up or get myself pushed ahead. But what I really need to do is probably figure out what's going on where and sort of pare back the other activities to concentrate on the important things, whether I have a business proposal or something that I need to work on, whether I need to make sure I have the next presentation or the speech contest stuff ready to share with everyone else going forward, or if I'm just there to meet with my area directors or the club members to find out how they're doing, what their problems are, what their issues are. Maybe I'm seeing something that I can help them with, or maybe they just plain have questions and they didn't know what the questions were until they knew that there was someone there in person or across Zoom to listen to them and see them struggle with the issues that they have.
Hearing those struggles, you're not the only one trying to figure out how we put these pieces together. What would you say to our members to encourage them to take on a leadership role in District 32?
It doesn't hurt as much as you think it does. Take the first step. It's very easy to sit back and do nothing. It is a challenge to push yourself or have someone in your club or someone who knows you tell you that you can do do this role if you have this concern. If there's an opening in your club, start with your club. If you're doing your club leadership, that's the first step. If you can handle everything in the club level, doing the next step outside the club, an area director or a volunteer at a contest or some other presentation that's going on where they need help. That's the second step. Once you start reaching out and going a little bit further there, people will see your qualities. They'll see your desire to become better or help other people. And that is what's going to make you thrive in the next levels that you work forward. And when you get the idea that you can go forward and you say that you will try the role, you're not going to be pushed out there and left all alone. There are hundreds and thousands of Toastmasters around you that have done this role in the past, are doing this role this year. This is their first year. This is their second year. They be very willing to tell you, well, this is what I learned. This is what I got out of the role. And this was the best year that I ever had when I had to do it the first time.
There's a lot we can learn by just trying something new. Whatever skills we tell ourselves we don't have, you have the opportunity to gain them with Toastmasters. Do you have any final comments, Brian?
I do. The idea that district leadership was probably one of the scariest things I told myself to try. I actually ended up with a role model as I moved forward. I joined the Toastmasters, and there was a person in the club that was fairly new to the club, a couple years before me. They went into an officer role and they said, I think I can do that role. And I just followed them up the chain through the club. They went from club president to, at that point in time, the area director title before. They started that and they went up and kept going up through the lane. So I just kept following them up there, and I knew I could ask them questions. But it has been the most fun because I got to help other people. I learned all these new skills. I learned how to run a meeting. I learned how to reach out and try and form teams. I got to help other clubs figure out what they're going to do. It has just been such a learning experience for me. It's been something that has boosted my self-confidence that I've reached, I don't know if I want to say the upper echelons of Toastmasters, because I'm not quite there in the district, but I had not been afraid to tell people that, yeah, I think I can squeeze out those extra few hours to assist you with that role for this year.
I know we appreciate you stepping in to serve as Division E Director this year. That role was vacant because we're looking for leaders. Thank you so much for stepping up to serve and support our members in Division E and in District 32. I'd like to thank Brian Besnick, Division E Director in District 32, for his participation in this podcast tonight and the discussion we've had with leadership. I'd like to thank Merlin Miller behind the scenes as our Zoom master, helping us with the technology, with the support of our district leaders, and with our Nerdmasters. Everyone has a nerd inside. And with Nerdmasters, I'm finding my inner nerd, not necessarily technology, but everyone has an inner nerd that they can unleash on the world. Join us with District 32 d32toastmasters.org or look for Nerdmasters. We meet on the first Wednesday evening of the month, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. We hope you join us and have a great time. Thank you so much for joining us with this episode tonight.
Whether you identify as a gamer, technology nut, or just have a commitment to studying how technology is changing and improving both leadership and communication, our Nerd Herd has a place for you. Find out more about us at our website, nerdmasters.org. Join us the first Wednesday of each month at 7 o'clock Pacific and get to know us before our meeting starts promptly at 7:30. You will visit our club and enjoy it.
Resistance is futile.
Game over.